All right, I want to ask you about that media sizzle that Amanda just played, because none of what happened in the last decade would have happened if the media weren't aider and abettors. Had they challenged Clinton or Biden or the 51 letter writers or any of the other things, Jack Smith, we might have had a different outcome in America, because media and culture drive a lot. When you hear that reporting and they say no evidence, I swear I've read some evidence in the last few weeks. Am I missing something?
Well, you have to remember, you have to start out with is there is no media. The legacy media in this country is solely owned by the Democratic Party and the left, and they're moving farther and farther to the left. I think in many cases, some economics has driven some of this, where a lot of these news channels are no longer profitable. It's very tough to make it in the news business. And so you had groups like Fusion GPS that got stood up, and you had these kind of alternative fake news developers and seeders. They go out, they develop fake stuff, they seed it, they water it, they grow it, and then they pay kind of the media that's left out there. They're like the minions, and they go out and harvest it, and they just regurgitate it over and over and over again. So what you're seeing is a combination of a lot of facts, but basically it's the collapse of the whole media complex. And that's why I'm always amazed at Real America's Voice or the other channels that are similar to Real America's Voice that people claim are right wing or far right. And I beg to differ a little bit. I think these are probably some of the only outlets where you can actually get real information. And you have, I think Democrats for the most part, John, they don't go on Real America's Voice. At least I'm not aware of it. I think sometimes they have reporters that chase them through the halls of Congress, but they just don't participate. So you have this bifurcated system, one of which is small but mighty, meaning kind of the center right and the people that are on Truth Social, the ones that we have on Truth Plus, which is our new streaming app. I urge everyone, you can tie it to your Truth Social account if you want. If you don't have a Truth Social account, you can go and download it. It's on not only Apple, but the Apple App Store, Android, but also on most televisions. And that's a plug, not just for our company, but really we built this for you. The President Trump, we wanted to build this for people so that they could use it and have access to news, because a lot of times the news channels that we have, you won't find them on your typical cable TV. So you can actually cut the cord. You can watch John and Amanda anywhere you want to go at any time. By the way, it's now global. So anywhere you go, you can watch Truth Plus, and you have access to this news that has been outright banned or shadow banned from these legacy media channels. So that's why. So we're bifurcated in this country with what I would say real news and people trying to get to the real news, i.e., what you do, John, at Just the News every day. And then you have this cabal of jackals and people that are being paid under the table, people that are being bought free dinners in order to, promote a story. So, John, they're really co-conspirators in this. Now, when I say that, does it mean that they are going to be busted? I doubt it, but they were the recipient of illegal leaks of classified information. Point one, General Flynn. That was a leak. I originally, came out and said, what the hell is going on here back in early 2017. This is right before all the ICA Russia crap stuff happened. So these are massive leaks. What the hell's going on? Like, why isn't every FBI agent around in Washington, D.C., trying to track down how these leaks of an incoming administration are happening? So they were involved in these illegal leaks of classified information. And in fact, they just continued to today. I mean, even recently, just in the Trump administration, you had illegal leaks from the intelligence agencies that were designed to harm President Trump. Mm-hmm. So therein lies where we sit today. Thankfully, there is a grand jury investigation that has begun. And hopefully, and I know that there was a strike force that was stood up by the Department of Justice, and hopefully justice will be served to these criminals. This has been criminal activity that has been ongoing. If you want to go back all the way to Benghazi, right? I can even take it as far back as that, but for sure against President Trump, it started in late 2015, for sure early 2016. That was what our investigation uncovered, was that it wasn't just the Steele dossier. You may remember, right, John and Amanda, through Lee Smith's reporting, he actually found what we nicknamed, I don't know if there's really a name for them, but they were proto dossiers.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, they weren't tying Trump to Putin, but they were tying Trump to dirty oligarchs around the world, all fake, all nonsense. And once that kind of failed and stumbled, then they turned to weaponizing the FBI and the CIA, as we know, in around March or April of 2016. And it culminates with the raid at Mar-a-Lago. So they were targeting President Trump and have been for a very, very long time.